are we doing tonight? So I said on my Instagram, should I go live regarding van life struggles? And I had 100% yes, so I'm going live right now. I should have notified somebody, but I'm just gonna share that now. But yeah, I really wanted to do this video because like I've been doing van life now for the last 2 weeks. This is like my third week, and I have been, there's a few things that culturally I've noticed with van life already, how people's attitude are changed. And it's funny the way you're dressed and your image and the way you look is completely judged. And then just dealing with rubbish, dealing with weirdness on the streets, dealing with struggles, like real van life struggles. And I feel like though van life struggles is subjective to finance. I think the variable to comfortability with van life is definitely finance. But yeah, we're gonna get into all of that on this live right now. I'm just gonna share this video on different socials quickly. But yeah, I want to start with van culture. Van culture is ridiculous, especially here in Wales / the UK, because I know that I've watched quite a lot of YouTube videos. There's been updates about what's been happening and things. I do follow a lot of this because obviously it will affect me from time to time. One thing, so there's a little bit of, you have to be discreet. So stealthing, I personally feel, is the best way to van life because of van culture. So van culture is how people treat you or how you get judged. So I asked my university, this video that's going to come up, but I'm going to share that now. I shared with my university, I was like, oh, can I please park inside today, because I really wanted to air out my mattress and I wanted like a safe space to do so. I didn't want people watching me whilst I was doing it. And at this stage I didn't think to go to a field to do it. I just thought it would be a better idea to do it at university. Bad idea, because what happened is I asked the security. At first they said no, and then this other guy was like, okay, cool, just go. So I ended up going, parking my van, opening my van, clearing all the things out and repacking it, and it only took like half an hour, not even. And the security walks past, he intercoms to the other security. I go sit in the library working on my dissertation, and I get this guy come up to me, the same guy that at security he was like looking at my womanly parts, to say the least. And then he landed up saying, oh, are you okay? Did you bring a car in today? Which I did. I bought a van. And he's like, because I asked him permission to go in the van, to the car park. And then he's like, oh, is there a bed in the back of the van? So I'm like, yes. Why are you bedding in the back of the van? I'm like, yes. Why? He goes, are you living in the van? I'm like, no, I stay and camp out sometimes. He goes, well, if you are, we've got some accommodation for you. And I was like, but I don't, like, I'm not, it's so weird. And it made me feel very bad about myself. It made me feel like I'm homeless or something, which technically, sure, but technically no, because I made the choice to move in my van out of fear of being homeless, yes, but not because I am homeless. And I also didn't want to let him know that I was living in the van, because like I don't know what I don't trust them, basically. They made me feel very uncomfortable. And like, the only reason why I moved into the van in the first place in such a rush is because the university wouldn't extend my room where it was. So, stigma number one: if you live in a van, you're homeless and you need to go to a shelter. That's the van life culture. Wake up and smell the roses, mate. Like, I don't know. People are weird. And then, mistake number two: I started just doing my van this weekend, blah, blah, blah. And then I did a little bit of rubbish. Now, I tried to put the rubbish where the university bins were, and they were like, no, you can't do this. They made me take up all my rubbish out of the rubbish bin, and it was embarrassing. And they were like, you're caught on camera. And where it's caught on camera, now I feel paranoid to be parking there too. And that was like my free parking. So I shot myself in the foot. Also, when I was going to move into my van, I was like, oh, I'm going to move into my van. This is where I'm going to be staying. Because people are like, where are you going to sleep? Don't do that. Don't do what I'm doing. Just keep everything to yourself, because there's two reasons. One, obviously safety, but to be honest with you, safety is what it is, right? The second point is more important for me, is the way people treat you once they find out. And like, I have a job, 2 jobs, plus I've got my starting my business, and the reason why I'm in the van is to pay off my debts, so I can be a lot more free and buy a property. It's not going to be, I won't be living in the van full time forever, but I will be doing it for a long duration of time for sure. But anyway, that's van life culture firstly that I've experienced, and to be honest with you, I didn't see it getting any better in the UK. I think van life culture would be better. Van life culture would be better maybe in Europe. So, because I've experienced Europe as well before, like Spain, it was a lot better. Ireland was pretty, good during COVID and stuff. Anyway, let's talk about van life struggles. So the most struggle is finance and time. So finance is the first struggle that I'm having, because everything, if you save your money and then buy a van, so much better. And the biggest expense that I would invest in if I had to do it all over again is tools, power tools, like £100 each type of equipment, because I've had to do things by hand. It's been physically demanding on me, and it's been terrible. And then the next struggle is my bed. I originally had a foam mattress, which I thought didn't work out, returned it, went to IKEA, bought another foam one, and because it's money, it's still bad. And I even bought a bed frame in the van that's actually quite heavy in the wood, which is concerning me. I might have to get rid of that at some point and then start over with lighter wood. So that is the biggest issue for me at the moment, is my back is suffering because I don't have the money to invest foam to create. So originally I wanted like a pull out bed where its day mode is a single bed and then moves up to like a 3/4 double, and the the foam pieces for that is £240 minimum. So like nearly, like I think between £250 to £300. And I haven't even bought my diesel heater yet, my portable power station, and my fridge. All of that is like £800. So it's a lot of money, okay? And when you don't have the money and you're working towards that money every month, it's a lot. So at the moment, like, if I had to do it all over again, tools will be my number one priority, then the bed, and then everything else. And I haven't done it like that because I've also been living in the van whilst working full time, plus trying to convert it. I've had to move my stuff in and out of the van constantly. It's so draining. Like, I am actually sick of being in that mode of, oh, I've got to build this, I've got to take this out, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. So this is why I decided to oh, and another struggle is knowledge. I've never built anything in my life before. I built a little stool in high school, which my dad did most of the work, and it sucked. It sucks. I don't know how to build, and therefore I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm wasting materials, and I'm wasting time. And this is obviously how you learn. I'm obviously learning so much. I learned how to sew over the weekend. I learned how to do things, but I'm wasting product, I'm wasting my time, and I'm wasting money, because some things you mustn't be cheap with, basically. And I'm not choosing to be cheap. It's just my budget needs me to be cheap. So at the moment, my subflooring is down. I did it myself, thank you very much. But now I took out the walls because they were rotting, and I cleaned all the cobwebs, and I filled, apparently with the wrong insulation. It is what it is, but I'm gonna have to do that again at some point. But for now, it's just gonna stay. But I have to create 2 walls and wheel arches, boxes, and I want to build like a little kitchen. And at the moment, that's only got foil on, and I've got an OSB plank on the floor, and I've got my bed in the middle of the bed with everything stored underneath. Now, there's 2 things that's wrong with this. The weight. All the weight is on the right hand side of my vehicle. So I'm going to have a problem. So I am going to have to need to build the kitchen side of it fairly soon, because that over a long duration is not going to be feasible to have. And the only reason why I have it like that is because of storage, right? I lack storage in the van. So if I can just try to balance out the weight, where I have my kitchen and I have my cupboard built, but I need anchor points, I need whatever they're called, I need some type of wood to build on the wood. It's a lot of measuring, precision, and I'm not a precise person when it comes to building. I'm kind of like, if it's wonky, who cares, you know? I'm not OCD like that. I'm OCD in other things, but not with building. So I'm wasting my time. Like, I sawed pieces for the first time, but I sawed it skew. So it took me 2 seconds to saw the wood on Sunday night, like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, like an hour. And guess how long it took me to repair that? Well, me and my friend and I. We finished 1 o'clock in the morning building that bed frame, and I didn't have the right wood, I didn't have the right screws. I was like a mess. So that's the biggest struggle for me, is money, knowledge, and time, and tools. I will never be cheap on tools again. I bought like £30 worth of tools, and I have to return it. Like, I need my refund. I need to invest in like a vault. It's fun, but it's not so fun to sleep on a bed it's so hard. My back, I feel like I'm constantly sleeping on like the floor. So next stop is IKEA, hopefully on Friday morning, so I can get a new bed again. I have to relook at my budget, because I've had to beg, borrow, and steal money this week. No, not stealing, I promise. Beg and borrow, basically. I got gifted money this month, which I'm very grateful for. And I got gifted some essentials, because like I've only just got my first paycheck out of like this whole year, this month. Like, people don't realize that I am surviving post COVID, post South Africa, post mum passing, and I'm trying to get back on track, and this is difficult because all I need to do is eat, sleep, breathe, repeat, work, and van needs to come in between. And I literally got ripped off all the plywood, cleaned the van in the rain, may I add, built the subflooring, insulated half the van, sound dead in it, built my bed, all in the space of 2 days. Madness. And this is why some of the videos I look very burnt out, and I'm like, I look like I'm having a bad time. So that's the first thing of van struggles. The second thing for me is, the second most important thing is the van itself. I spent £1,500. Hello, whoever's joined. Pop in the chat. I'd like to know who's here. Basically, I landed up, my van only cost me 400, sorry, pound. The budget was 1,500. I got a Vauxhall Vivaro 2002 model, and I landed up finding the van on Facebook Marketplace, and I landed up getting the van reduced to £1,400 from 1,600, I think, 1,800 to 1,600 to 1,400. And there is a lot of things that need to be done. So I've already spent £250 on mechanics, which is suspension, brakes. Then there is wheel bearing to do. There is the electrics. There is the 12-volt socket. There's like just a lot of things. I've been priced that it's about to take like £1,000 plus or minus. But I've got a hazard issue where, not a hazard, but my hazard's the light. It keeps flicking on and off. That can drain the battery. So I'm having to disconnect the battery every time, which is not convenient to me. So I need to kind of get the next thing sorted, and I hope it's not going to be an ongoing issue. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of money, and we're not going to solve the problem. So again, if I could do this again, buying a newer van with like immaculate condition, low mileage would be the ideal situation, but that would cost £15,000. That's the problem. So other than that, the van's like so cool. Like, I love the van. I love it so much. If we can just get the mechanics out of the way, if we can just finish the van will be an enjoyable place. And also ventilation, like I could do with just having even a window installed, or and the heater's gonna need to come very soon. Condensation started to form on my roof already. So yeah, I think van life and me are an emotional period at the moment. And I think it's just because it's not just the one thing I'm focusing on, it's everything else as well, which is crazy. The lights. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of what I'm going through at the moment. Also, toilet situation. So I think at the moment I'm keeping my pee in because I don't want to do the deed in the van. I just wake up and go to Starbucks or go to somewhere where it's open, and then before I go to bed I'll make sure I go. So, and then don't drink water. Don't drink water at least an hour before you're going to bed. So my water intake is not as good as it should be, but yeah, other than that, I love it. There's some things that have annoyed me already. It's difficult. It isn't easy, and I think people should know. I think van life's more of an issue, again, when it comes to budget. So van life on a budget is a lot more like teeth grinding. One day you love it, next day you hate it, and you could feel those emotions in one day. Like my van broke down yesterday. It didn't break down, it just had the battery issue thing, the hazard thing. And I was stuck 45 minutes in by a petrol station. I just filled up with diesel and got in my car wouldn't start, van wouldn't start, and luckily I was in the forest. But I missed a networking event, and it was annoying because I had planned everything, and I paid for my parking, and anyway. I just want to talk about van life culture and van life struggles, and we're already at 21 minutes, but that's it really. I'm alive, and for me, my van life, I will definitely talk about it in the next video. I think I've got a video anyway out about why I chose to live in a van. Like, master's student choose to live in a van. I'll link it over here in the edit, or I'll link it at the bottom actually in the edit. Why I chose to live in a van, and it's because of the culture, my kind of lifestyle at the moment. I'm very much city based and very much city exploring, networking, out and about. So this is just what I choose to do now. It's a lifestyle for me. So yeah. Anyway, if you have any comments, please leave them down below. And I hope you've liked this live. I've got to go. I've got to finish off because I want to get out of here soon. But have a good evening. Bye.